Mic check. Testing 1 2 1 2. That's how they say it, right? Guys, I think I'm back. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm here. I can literally cry. Oh my god. But let me not get ahead of myself. Hi guys, oh my god, I'm actually doing this. Hi guys, welcome back to the Non-Immigrant student podcast. If you're new here, my name is Tolulokbe Esther Olukomi. My voice is low because I'm scared. It really feels scary to actually be doing this again. It feels scary, but it still feels very good, I must say. I'm all dressed up, I'm all on my mic, in my imaginary studio, if I will. And I'm back. I'm a bit shaky because I'm also feeling very anxious, of putting this out. But it's a very short episode, don't worry. I promise you. This time, I actually promise you. 30 minutes on the clock. Let's go. But yeah, I'm actually back, I think, just for today. So as most of you know, it was Thanksgiving in America, like just about a week ago. I hear it's every last Thursday of the month, on the month of November. And there's some history behind it. But the little I know, I kept saying I'll Google it, but I haven't. I haven't really Googled it yet. But from hearsay, what I know about Thanksgiving is, I think it was after they found the land or after some harvest. And they decided to do a Thanksgiving. And that's how this holiday became. Even though I don't understand how, it feels almost like a Christmas holiday. And then after a month, everyone recuperates again for Christmas. Or comes back again for Christmas. But anyway, my Thanksgiving holiday was such a good time out. I remember Thanksgiving was started on Wednesday the 24th till Sunday 29th, I think. Sunday 28th. And I remember the whole Monday and Tuesday I couldn't concentrate in my classes. I was just always thinking of Boston because I was going to Boston to see some of my family members, and it was so good. I mean, my Instagram might not show justice to how I felt, because I haven't had the time to put out content. As most of you know, I came here with no excuses as to why there haven't been episodes, in the past 3 months, or as to why content has been slow. But I think I've been trying my best on Instagram, but not just on the podcast front. But anyway, I'll try to offer some explanation today. I'll just try a little bit. But I'm just here based on vibes, based on that I'm happy today, based on I've been feeling grateful this past month in November, and I said, I really feel like releasing an episode. I should do it. I've been telling myself for the past 2 weeks that I will do it. And guys, I'm finally doing it today. Please, wherever you are in the world, please just be clapping for me. Be clapping for me. Just be, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, let me get serious now. So guys, how have you been? I really want to say thank you to all of you who've been checking on me, like all these, Instagram and YouTube people. But it's a lie. Because it's only like 2 people that checked on me. Or maybe 3 or 4 or 5, and good friends. But the people who I wanted to be checking on me were the ones who checked on me. So I'm fine with that, And a couple of my audience, a couple of people who are members of the non-immigrant student audience also reached out to me to find out where have I been, where have I, and I've been like, oh my God, where am I? I don't even know. But yeah, I've been around. Trust me, I've been around. I moved houses, so maybe I can give an excuse that, where I used to record before has changed, but that's a lie. Maybe I can also give the excuse that school got really busy. School was also as busy last semester, but I was still recording. So maybe I could also say my phone broke. Well, my phone screen did break, but I could still record. There are a gazillion excuses I could give as to where I've been, but I don't think that matters right now, because right now I'm back, baby. And that's all that matters. So how have you guys been? Anyway, how have you guys been? Thank you to everyone who tried to find out where I was. And thank you to everyone who thought about it but didn't bother reaching out. So every day I keep finding out that people know that I exist but never really tell me, which is a good thing. Doesn't that mean I'm attaining celebrity status? I think so. And guess what, guys? So when I traveled to Boston, so eventually left with a friend to Boston on Tuesday. We traveled to Hartford. He dropped me off at the Hartford Union Station, and then I took a bus to Cambridge, Massachusetts. Cambridge, Massachusetts. Never mind. Cambridge and Boston, Massachusetts State, yeah. Where my childhood friend picked me up. If you also follow my personal page, I was a bridesmaid at her wedding. Yada, yada, yada. My auntie who used to live in Texas, who I went to stay with for Christmas, now moved to Boston also because she's doing her MBA at MIT, the Sloan Business School. Also, my childhood friend is here with her husband, who's also doing his MBA at the business school in MIT. I also have a childhood friend who's studying architecture at the Graduate School of Design at Harvard. So I was like, you know what? This is a full circle trip. I was going to see all of them, and I did see all of them. I also have a friend, Lade, who most of you might know from Instagram. She's also in Boston now working. If you remember, we recorded the struggles of the non-immigrant student episode with her, and now she has a good job. She's settled. So shout out to you, Lade. You always listen, and I hope you listen. And she's getting married soon. So yeah, guys, send her love, send her wishes if you follow her on Instagram. And shout out to all these people who took care of me on my trip to Boston, during my trip at Boston, whatever. So yeah, my trip was really good. It was 1 week. I was able to see the Museum of Science. I went to the Harvard Square. I took a picture with John Harvard. I also went to the MIT campus. Boston was such a beautiful city. It didn't give me New York City vibes. For any of you who might be in New York City, I'm sorry, but Boston is New York City with beautiful skyline, without the dirt, without the rats, without the hustle and bustle. So it's such a beautiful city. And I find that there are a lot of healthcare companies there, because they say most of the research that has developed in America starts from the state of Massachusetts because of MIT and Harvard. So that's why a lot of them are there. The COVID vaccine, Pfizer, I saw all those companies there. So it was a really good trip. But even before I went on that trip, I'd been saying, I wish I could just record one episode, just one. I just want to say something, even for myself, not necessarily for anyone, but because I actually like to do it. And I can't believe I'm back here again. And so thank you guys for allowing me allow this season pass. I think it's still passing. I'm not sure it's completely passed. But I also bring you good news. Yes. A round of applause. I might be... Okay, that was a joke. I will be graduating on the 18th of December, 2021. Woohoo! I say that is, a lot of mixed feelings, bittersweet, because a lot of my time spent here at Cornell was mostly trying to help myself mentally to stay above water, with my academics. So I think it was this past few weeks that helped me come to terms with myself and come to terms with how far I've come. And I decided that, done everything. I'm recording this episode. I just want to say why I might have been off the radar and what has really been up with me anyway. I had a very close friend of mine reach out to me, shout out to you, Maureen, and tell me that she had missed listening to my episodes. I didn't know if it was a compliment or if she really meant it. This is your cue for you to come and tell me if you really meant it or not, because my friend doesn't really talk much, but and I left it there because I didn't want to make any promises that, oh my God, I'm coming back or anything, Even when people send me certain messages like that, I'm like, well, you know how it can be and all that. But yeah, school was busy to the point that I didn't care again. If any of you have gone through any season in your life where you just want to leave everything on the table, you don't care anymore. I remember every time my mom would call, I would be like almost this close to tears to tell her that I regret studying engineering. I regret, everything. I had even gone to see a CAPS counselor. I think it just stands for, let me say, a therapist, as they would say, but not necessarily a therapist. And she helped me realize the truth. She was like, before you came to Cornell, you were happy to have gotten the program. I said, yes. I was really looking forward to my engineering management. I said, yes. She said, okay, so what happened along the lines that everything became, so sad? You really hate, what? I always wanted to blame it on someone. I didn't know who to blame. And I blamed it on the whole Ivy League institution and how they, it's like academic slavery. For lack of a better word, we just had to do so much to prove our academic worth, and I got tired, and I started giving up. I stopped submitting a lot of assignments. This was even as a last semester, but yet I was still very glee and happy recording episodes. Like I didn't care. That was how bad it was. And then this semester came again, and I thought I was ready, but then it came, and the waves of this school just blew me into the deep. And then I really wish I could describe how all these things felt. But yeah, it was tough. It was very tough. And I know a lot of you who also just came to the US and studying know what I mean when I say school can get tough unnecessarily. But yeah, aside all of that, I'm grateful that I can be here today, and that's it. It's a lot to be recording this today. It's a lot. It's really a lot, and I can't explain it, but I'm happy, and I'm really happy, and I will not let the devil take this joy from me. So to avoid tearing up, and all that, let me go straight to it. So at a recent Friendsgiving, if you guys, please follow my Instagram. Although most of the content I create, I tell myself I create it for myself, but it's a lie. I also like to share some of my experiences. So I went to Texas Roadhouse, I think sometime last week. So because I know I'm also graduating, I try to, so for as many friends that I've made here, because as most of you know, I'm very intentional about relationships. So I invited them. I told them, I wanted to have dinner with you guys before I leave. I know that once we're back now, so as we're back from Thanksgiving, this is crunch time. Like, everyone is just thinking of how to submit the remaining assignments left, how to finish up their project. If you know how many assignments I have now, between now and the 7th of December, you won't even be looking for me anywhere. But yeah, that's the professor's business and all their businesses. They can't, yeah. But I was very intentional. I said, okay, let's meet before we all go on Thanksgiving break. Let's have dinner. And then I didn't want it to be too deep. I was just like, let's go to Texas Roadhouse. It's chill. It's cheap. Food there is good vibes. We don't have to do too much. We're all guys. So I'm referring to all the black people in my program, actually. So we all went to Texas Roadhouse. And as we were just chatting away and eating, my very beautiful friend Maxine just said, let's all say what we're thankful for. I'm like, oh no, I'm not thankful for anything. I don't really care about, I'm just living life floating, And then we all started talking. I didn't even have much to say because I started crying already. But I said something. I said that this past 2 years of my life at Cornell feels like my worst years. Feels like the worst 1.5 years of my life ever, because I've never had to always keep fighting for something, It's either I'm fighting for my grades, I'm fighting for a job, or I'm fighting to, it's just, everything just felt like a struggle. Mentally, emotionally, and I was always tired, and I saw a coach recently that you're not tired because you're stressed or because you're physically stressed, but you're just tired because you don't feel fulfilled. And maybe I was like, okay, some truth there, maybe, and I asked myself, it's not like I always believe all these Twitter memes or anything, but sometimes I try to see if there's meaning beneath the words. And I was like, okay, why would that possibly not be feeling fulfilled, right? I'm doing my master's. Everyone feels almost fulfilled at this stage. And I think it was just a career crisis. It's like, I see all these jobs. I'm only applying to them because I have to. This is not what I want to do. I felt cheated that this program isn't maybe what it was supposed to be at the end of the day and all that. And I started thinking, because I started admitting to myself to how much I think I want to be in Hollywood, how much I think I want to be in the entertainment and media business, but there's no way to break it. So a lot of those things. But I said that, and then I started crying. I said, this feels like the past 1.5 years have been bad, but I'm happy for them. I was the only black person in my class, I think last semester. And the semester before, we're 3 black girls and 1 black guy. Well, we're like 7 or 8 at the table. And I was so grateful for all of them. I was grateful that I now had friends, I could always be like, let's do this together. And yeah, and everyone shared why they were grateful. And so I held that in my left hand. I was like, I'm happy that I can be grateful for something. And then I went again. So when we went to Boston on Thanksgiving Day, we had a Thanksgiving dinner with Nigerians at the event, of course. I even met a girl who I met on, how random it is to meet people in Yanagbaja camps. I went to Lagos camp. She was in some platoon, and I met her through someone, only for me to meet her again in that room. Apparently she's at Hall Business School in Boston. So it was such a full circle moment for me. And I was in my feelings that whole night because I was so happy to be with, I just felt like I was home away from home, like Nigerian home, not even the one in Ithaca. And so they asked, after we ate and we danced, we did musical chairs. I think I'm going to do a reel when I find the time for that day. And they asked all of us again to share what we're grateful for. And people started talking from the pandemic years and everything. So of course, if I went back, I had so much to be grateful for. I was grateful that I came into the US. I think I will still mention it anyway. That's because of me, God opened the borders for students to start living to the US. I had my visa appointment the first day. Most of you who've been here, you know the story. I think I recorded it in my 25th birthday testimony and all that. But I didn't want to just say too many things. I didn't even like, please, I'm not shading anybody, or please don't come for me. But I don't like when they ask people to share something and you come and start giving me advice. I'm like, please, I don't like, just share your own experience without giving me advice. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but let me not go into it now. Let's just leave it. So I was like, I decided to write down 4 things I was great. I wanted to be specific. I was like, okay, what have I really been grateful for this past few months, or this past semester that started in August? And that's also what I wanted to share with you guys today. And hopefully in doing so, I will be able to explain myself, maybe. So the first thing I was grateful for, I had 4 things. First thing was my mental health. And the second thing was my relationship with God. The third thing I was grateful for was financial stability. And the last thing I was grateful for was home away from home. So in my mental health, I was just grateful for that. That's a word I don't use, because to me, I don't like to play victim or to give excuses to things. I'm always like, no, try your best to be last. And then I'm not just so used to giving excuses. And I was like, let me not blame anything on my mental health. Maybe I was just lazy. Maybe I was just tired. Maybe I was just not interested in my classes anymore. But as I begin to admit things to myself more and more, I see that something actually suffered. If you ask me what's wrong with me, nothing was wrong with me. No one died in my family. I mean, I went through a couple of things before I came here and there. People might know, but it wasn't anything that should put you under. But I was just grateful that I could admit it to myself. I was grateful in all of it. I didn't find any new addiction. Although I would say I got addicted to TV to a point where I couldn't function anymore. If I didn't want to do anything, I would go watch TV. I would go watch Netflix. I would go watch YouTube, just so I didn't have to deal with my assignments or deal with anyone that was upsetting me at the moment. So maybe that was my addiction, but I was grateful that it was just TV. I was grateful that I didn't want to find out what weed tasted like or what alcohol, what it would be like to get drunk. Sometimes I'm like, I wonder what it really is like to lose total control, and all that. I'm happy that I didn't spiral into any of those things. I was also grateful for my relationship with God in the aspect that I had to strive for so many things, even being here at Cornell academically, just trying to prove myself in this area. And the best I would put in would be a B. What's a B here? A B is 86 to 89. If I had that in Nigeria, isn't that an A, clean and clear? But here, that's a B plus. And that's already, in short, a B plus is 3.3. And the highest here, our grades are actually calculated over 4.3. Because we have A plus is 97 to 100. The whole academic system, I think, is used in most Ivy League schools. So that's already 3.3 to 4.3. That's already 1 point. It's just like 4.0 over 5.0. That's a big gap, I'm like, why am I striving so much? Even with the striving I get, maybe I will get to 97. Then one stupid group assignments with some very annoying group mates. We just, I have so much to say, but I will not today is not the day for that. And then I'll be striving for all these things, but I didn't have to. I didn't have to strive in my relationship with God, it's like, even in not striving, it did not affect that God still loved me. It did not affect, if I didn't strive in my academics, of course my grades would be affected. But for the past 1 year, since the pandemic started, I can tell you shamefully, not shamefully, I can tell you boldly that I haven't really opened my Bible to read. Yeah, in like 1 year. I said it at that event that I can't remember what it's like. Although, yeah, there are times I will open it in church. Okay, maybe I can count all those times. There are just a couple of times, but I'll probably slip off on it. It's like every time I wanted to try, I couldn't. But yet, God did not. God didn't hold me to ransom by that. I've never felt like God was still never there. I never felt like just because I wasn't trying my relationship with God, God wasn't trying for me. Even within those periods, I got full funding. So for my 3rd semester, I actually had a tuition waiver. Yeah, I did. I think I also said that I was grateful for that. I didn't have to pay bills for my 3rd semester. So you can imagine my parents' delight when Cornell informed them that they were refunding some of the money they had paid. Like, all of us were really happy. It was a big deal to get $30,000 off the back of my parents, and all that. So I was really grateful for that even in all those periods, if it was like, it's by what I do that God loves me, if it's by what I do God blesses me, there are a lot of things that won't even have happened in my life. I had a summer internship job where I got paid. I could travel to I traveled to at least 2 or 3 or 4 cities during summer. I was grateful for all those things, for safe journey messages. Even though I had, in one of my rules, I think I put it there, like, in the background. I had an issue with my leg where I was wearing crutches, at least for like one night, but the swelling went down. I was like I can't really think back and think of anything drastic or bad that's happened to me. And I was grateful for that. I was also grateful for my parents. I'm grateful that they can provide most of the things I want now at this time. I was grateful for the petty cash I have in the bank, you know. It's not like it's so much. It's not, I don't invest or do all those things that make my money multiply or make money multiply, you know. But I was still grateful for that I could afford the things I wanted. I remember during summer, I finally bought new clothes because, you know, when you come here, you don't come with a lot of clothes and eventually you start like improving your wardrobe. You know, I was grateful for things like that. You know, I was grateful that I could travel to Boston. I was grateful for, you know, those things that seem little, but I was just grateful for it. And then my last thing I was grateful for was home away from home. So just being there in that moment. So most of these Nigerians had never met them before. For as many of you who know Miss Abioye, the CNN hero on Instagram, she was also at that event. I remember I met her and I couldn't believe I met her for free. You know, she's also at Harvard. I also met Otto. I think if you're Nigerian and you know these people on Instagram, you know, I think that night, the first night I came or the next night, I also went to see House of Gucci with my fam, with some of my friends there, and I met Otto in the cinema, just like that. He's someone who also does from slum to school for people in Makoko, Lagos, for most of you whom I know, you know. So I was just glad to meet all these Nigerians and be in that space. You know, it was such a full circle moment, basically. So yeah, those are the 4 things I'm really grateful for. And so yeah, I hope I've been able to say what I wanted to say even within that time. But yeah, and that's why I said, you know what, I should talk about this. I've been wanting to record something, even if I don't know. I remember the first time I actually wanted to record, I just wanted to come here and bash Cornell. I wanted to bash the fact that I had to leave home, that I want to go back home, you know, and all that. I also did an episode with my sister in this length of time, about her. For most of you whom I know, my younger sister who went to the UK to school, she's now doing well in Nigeria, and I wanted to talk to her about that story. So hopefully I'll find the time to edit and finally, please. But and something I also did for myself, I never put myself under any pressure. You know, I would always wait for those seasons to pass. So I've done it now for almost 2 months. I recorded that episode with her almost 2 months. You know, what it's like to decide if you want to eventually come back to Nigeria, just in case anyone in the US or anywhere might be battling that. Yeah, so and if you really want to hear it, remind me if there's actual need for it. I will leave what I'm doing and go and work on it. So hopefully when my classes are over, I'll have the time to finally put out these episodes and round up season 2. For this particular episode, I'm not too sure I would put out the information that I put it. I don't know. It's just supposed to be for anyone who gets notification that I uploaded any new episode. But yeah, thank you guys. I think that brings me to the end of all I've been wanting to say in a long while now. But yeah, so those are the things I'm grateful for, even as 2021 wraps up. Maybe Cornell might not be coming to Cornell might not be exactly the worst thing that happened to me in the past 1 year, you know, because there's so much to be thankful for, honestly. So many things, but I'm grateful that I can talk about them. I'm grateful that I can now see them, you know, even before I might not have wanted to admit that, these are the good things that are happening, because I was so bent on the bad things that are happening, but I'm grateful for them. A couple of my friends are now leaving the country to go to school. You know, there are so many things also happening for people around me that I'm happy for, you know. So I think today I'm in a good space. I can't promise you for tomorrow and the rest of the weeks, but I'm trying to keep the energy up. I'm finally trying to get myself together and buy and look for a dress for graduation, look for shoes, look for hair, look for, you know, all those things. Before, the excitement wasn't there, honestly. Winter has already come, snow everywhere. Honestly, I was just angry with this country. But yeah, but I hope that Sunday I'll come back here and be able to share testimonies of my new job. That's something I really want God to do for me. Please pray along with me for jobs. My fear is not that I won't get a job. It's just how long will I wait? And even if I have to wait, which job will it be? You know, I didn't leave Nigeria to come here and do a job I don't like. Because if it's like that, I'll just have stayed there earning oil and gas money, and still money solves all problems. Amen. Okay, not really, but you get my point. But yeah, but dollars might solve more problem actually. But yeah, the whole point is I really want to be somewhere that, you know, makes me happy. You know, I want to be doing good work and all that. So So yeah, I think I feel like I'm not explaining it. And people who might not really understand the gravity of it, but it's fine. But I hope that you never experience anything like it, actually. Just some certain void and nothingness, just by schooling in the US. I hope you never really experience it. But so there's an article I wrote on Medium, but I had to repurpose for a magazine here at Cornell. The title of the article is Dancing with the Devil. It was actually inspired by a YouTube. So on one of my TV addiction days, I was watching Demi Lovato's YouTube series on how she was dancing with the devil too, but with like opioids and all that. Her addiction was drugs and all that. And it really helped me, in that moment. I saw how a lot of what she was saying, I could relate to it. Even I think that was for the first time I finally admitted to myself how I might be going through something like this actually, but I don't just know what it is. When, for those of you who are Christians, who are spiritual, who believe in the things, who believe in angels and demons, like Frank Peretti would say, and if you believe in any of those things, I knew that it's like something was pushing me off a cliff, but something kept holding me back. Because if you really get to a point where nothing matters to you anymore, trust me, there are no consequences for anything in your mind. But I'm happy I never fell off that cliff. And I just want to read one of the paragraphs I wrote. It hasn't yet been published on this magazine or anything. I submitted it to be edited and published. But I'll read this article just to close. Whatever it is you get from it, you get from it. So yeah, let me start. It's one thing to admit it and admit it openly. But it's a whole other thing to put a label on it when you have mental health issues. I have now put a label on it. My time at Cornell has been tough. I have struggled and I'm almost coming out on top. Still alive and gasping for breath, but I made it. Graduation is around the corner. I still have a lot of questions. But now I know that I would rather be at Hollywood than at NAFGA, which is like a mnemonic for Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. I would rather be on TV than in front of it. Also, it took me so long, but now I know that Jesus still loves me. He never left my side. I was lonely, but never alone. I was always cared for, even when I didn't ask for it. Oh, you'll be fine. This too shall pass. It will soon be over. Words that felt like non-existent hugs and fake smiles. You don't tell that to a girl who wants to sleep all day so she doesn't have to get out of bed to once again sit in front of a laptop all day, wishing that giving up was an option. You don't tell that to the girl who spends her daily bath time wondering what she's going to make of her life after grad school. You don't tell that to anyone at all, whom their whole semester feels like a blur because they are on the verge of failing a graduation requirement class or dropping out of school. One thing this season proved to me anyways is that God is the only thing that fills my void. What a friend I have in Him. Needless to say, I got lucky with my addiction. Some people never had the chance to break away nor come to admit that they need help or a way out. I look back and the only thing I see is the constant of who God was in all of it. I learned to truly kiss the silent waves that threw me against the rock of ages. On Christ, my solid rock I stand, because all other ground is sinking sand. I'm grateful for my faith and the opportunity to have built my foundation in Him. Let all striving cease, because I have the mind of Christ. I am not alone. Okay, I think I'll stop here. But yeah, this is just one of the paragraphs from almost at the end. And I finished by saying, anyway, the music stops now because I am no longer dancing with the one who seeks my downfall or destruction. I am no longer dancing with the devil. Yes. Okay. I think that's it. So yeah, those are just some of the few lines from my Dancing with the Devil article. It's on Medium, but I probably have to repurpose it because I changed a couple of things to reflect my current realities. Yes, I also write when I believe in myself too. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. 30 minutes on the clock or almost. I'm grateful for as many of you who will actually listen to this even without me having to publicize it. I'm grateful that I have a pastime that I can run to, and in all of it, I'm grateful for God. And like I said, I'm really grateful that I'm in a better place than I was when the year started. I think I'm even at a point where I want to be fit again. When you can finally make decisions that help you, you're definitely, when I'm beginning to care again about certain things, then I know that I'm almost back, so I'm grateful for that. And I think I'm also planning to schedule more episodes with all the guests I had planned for this season, and I'll put it out eventually. I'm not running on any clock anymore. I'm giving myself grace and pace, and all of that. So I'm happy for that. Today's episode is just about me, but I hope where you are too, you're doing okay. And you are looking forward to graduation if you're graduating, and if you're not, I hope that school isn't as bad for you. And even if it is as bad, I hope that you can come out on top eventually at the end of the day. Honestly, I think for me, the end always justifies the means. Or maybe the means never mind. But yeah. So I think that brings me to the end of this Thanksgiving special episode, I guess. I guess I'll see you in the next one, and bye for now. And see you on Instagram. Don't forget to rate, subscribe my show wherever it is you find it, Google, Apple, Spotify, wherever it is. Leave me a rating, please. I would really appreciate that. And maybe I'll put out a post for you to come back and comment there if you've listened to this episode, whatever it is. I figured I'll find the time now that I think I'm back. So it was nice. It was nice doing this again. And to you who's on the other end of this episode, much love from me here to you. And see you on top. Bye, guys.